Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful idea, one that's totally changing how we think about making a difference in the world. We're talking about social entrepreneurship.
So let's just get right to it with a big question, one that a lot of us probably think about. When it comes to your work, do you really have to choose between making money and doing something good for the world?
For the longest time, it felt like you had to pick a side. Over here, you've got traditional businesses, and their whole game is about maximizing profit, right? Success is all about the bottom line. And then over there, you've got the charities, driven by a social mission, but they're always relying on the next grant or donation just to keep the lights on.
But what if that's a false choice? Seriously, what if there's another way to do things? A model that actually combines the engine of business with the heart of a social cause.
And that's exactly what social entrepreneurship is. It's not a charity in the traditional sense, and it's not just a business. It's this amazing hybrid that uses all the smarts and energy of entrepreneurship to tackle social problems and create change that actually lasts.
Now, it's really important to get that this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. Think of it like a spectrum. On one end, you have pure charity, and on the other, pure profit. Social enterprises live right in that fascinating middle ground, mixing and matching these two motives in all sorts of innovative ways.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how does this stuff actually work? In the real world. Let's take a look at a couple of the brilliant blueprints that people are using right now to make a huge impact.
So one of the most popular models is called cross-subsidy. And the idea is it's simple, but it's genius. Basically, you sell a product or a service to people who can afford it, and then you use the profits from that to give the same or a similar service to people who can't.
And here's a perfect example of that in action. A nonprofit called Iona started a high-end elder care business for wealthy seniors. And the money they make from that? It goes directly into funding their nonprofit work, helping elderly folks who don't have those same resources. It's one system that beautifully fuels the other.
Now here's another approach that's a total game changer. It completely flips the script. Instead of looking at people in need as, just recipients of charity, this model sees them as customers, as a real, untapped market for things they truly need.
And we're talking about a huge market. It's often called the base of the pyramid. That's 4 billion people living on less than $5 a day. So this isn't about giving handouts. It's about creating sustainable ways for people to get access to things like clean water, affordable energy, or healthcare. It empowers them as consumers, which is a massive shift.
These models are fantastic, but what really makes them work are the people, right? The visionaries who look at a problem and don't just see a challenge, they see an opportunity to build something new. So let's look at a few of the pioneers who've really led the way. And believe it or not, the spirit of this goes way back. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. His Khadi movement encouraged people to spin their own cloth. It wasn't just about boycotting foreign goods. It was this incredible blend of economics, self-sufficiency, and a social mission for an entire nation.
Fast forward to more recent times, and you have absolute giants like Muhammad Yunus and Ella Butt. Yunus started Grameen Bank, which basically invented the whole idea of microloans for the poor. And Ella Butt founded SEWA, an organization that gave a powerful collective voice to self-employed women in India. Just revolutionary stuff. And you want to know if these ideas actually work? Well, check this out. That number, 97%. That's the loan repayment rate at Grameen Bank. That is higher than most big commercial banks. It proves that investing in the poor isn't just a nice thing to do, it's actually a really smart, sustainable business model. And then you've got the amazing story of Dr. Verghese Kurian. His cooperative model, known as the Anand model, literally put millions of small dairy farmers in charge of their own businesses. This whole movement created the famous Amul brand and kicked off the White Revolution, turning India into the biggest milk producer in the world. And some of these entrepreneurs just completely shatter our expectations. Take Bunker Roy's Barefoot College. They prove that you don't need a fancy degree to change the world. They take women from rural villages, many of whom can't read or write, and they train them to be solar engineers. Grandmothers becoming engineers and bringing light to their entire community. How incredible is that?
And of course, this idea has gone totally global now. You've probably heard of Blake Mycoskie and Tom's Shoes. He made the one-for-one model famous. Buy a pair, give a pair. It was so simple, so easy to get, and it really pushed the whole idea of social enterprise right into the mainstream.
Okay, so we've seen the models, we've met some of the pioneers. So what's the big takeaway here? Why is this idea of social entrepreneurship so important, especially right now?
Well, here's the bottom line. Unlike a traditional charity that's always chasing donations, a social enterprise builds a system that can fund itself. It's sustainable. It tackles inequality head-on, it sparks incredible innovation, and maybe most importantly, it gives communities the power and the tools to shape their own economic futures.
And that really just leaves us with one final, powerful thought. What if we started looking at the world's biggest problems, not just as problems, but as opportunities? Opportunities to build a totally new kind of business, one where success isn't just about the money you make, but about the change you create. So let me ask you, what problem would you solve?